is going on, guys? Thank you so much for joining me right here on Outside the Brand. This is episode 247 for your September 14th, 2022. I'm your host, Phil, and of course, this is Outside the Brand. Thank you so much for joining me on your Wednesday evenings, wherever you may be. Guys, an excellent episode of AEW Dynamite tonight. We saw two amazing semifinal matches in the Tournament of Champions to determine the finals of the tournament to get to Grand Slam for the AEW World Championship. We do know the finals of the tournament. It will be Blackpool Combat Club versus the Blackpool Combat Club. It is Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson for the AEW World Championship next week in Queens, New York at Arthur Ashe Stadium for that championship in the main event of AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. It's going to be an amazing matchup. This entire show for AEW Dynamite tonight was a great setup for Grand Slam, as we have matches to announce, as we have, we just continue the storylines between everything, and it's going to be an amazing situation heading into Grand Slam next week. I loved it all. The Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker story, that continues to elevate itself. I didn't like the decision of the match that happened tonight, and I'll go over as to why. But everything else tonight was really, really good. And we set up a great Grand Slam, and we are going to get right into everything that happened tonight on the show. I want to thank you guys so much for joining us right here on Outside the Brand on your Wednesday evenings, wherever you are. Hit that like button. We should see no less than 15 likes for this episode tonight. No less than 15 likes. So go click that like button. Hit the subscribe button down below as well if you haven't already, and turn on the bell for all notifications. That way you never miss when we go live, as we go live on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for all your enjoyment. Sometimes Thursdays episodes, sometimes weekends episodes. We just got to figure out some timings and in-betweens and all that stuff. But we're always here on those weekdays on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday for your guys' enjoyment. And if you guys missed anything else on the channel over the last week, go check it out. It's all on the homepage of the channel. You guys can go check it out on Monday Night Raw post-show and our Tuesday's Talk episode as well from yesterday. It was a great talk, and it was just a great talk, and we're going to continue to do things over here on OTB. Go get the merch at bonfire.com, the exclusive home of Outside the Brand and its merchandise. You guys can go get your t-shirts, hoodies, and much, much more over there on bonfire.com. And you guys can go get your official OTB coffee mugs. So go get those while you're at it. And we will be moving to Teespring. Just gotta get some more information and details on that. But as soon as we are aware of the move and it can be official, we will be moving over to Teespring for the official merchandise store of Bonfire of Outside the Brand. So stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know everything about that. But as of right now, we are still on Bonfire, so go get your merchandise today on Bonfire. So we got Dynamite to go over tonight, guys. I don't want to waste any of your time. We can just get right into it. It was a great show, just from top to bottom, at the MVP Arena in Albany. Everything about the show was great. I loved it all, and I cannot wait to get into it. So let's get into it right now. Man, it was a great show. We kicked things off on AEW Dynamite tonight with the match of Jon Moxley taking on Sammy Guevara. Now, this is the semifinal match in the AEW Dynamite's Grand Slam Tournament of Champions, as we have Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara. Winner goes to AEW Dynamite Grand Slam for the AEW World Championship, and their opponent would either be Bryan Danielson or Chris Jericho. You have to find out later on in the night, as Jericho and Danielson main evented tonight's show. So the match was a very good matchup. We got like 13 minutes out of this thing, like 13 and a half minutes. It was a great match. And I love the way that these two work together. They really had some great in-ring chemistry. They had great in-ring pacing. And everything just flowed really well together with these guys. I loved it all. And we're going to get right into, the thick of things when it comes to this matchup right now. So, Guevara, he hit a standing Spanish fly on Moxley when he was trying to go for the King Kong Lariat to secure a close near fall. Moxley then hit a German suplex on Guevara from the second rope, and This Is Awesome chants roared throughout the arena. Anna Jay and Ty Mello, they were distracting the referee as Anna Jay, Ty Mello rather, she low blows Jon Moxley. Guevara then rolls up Moxley to secure a very, very close near fall, and then Guevara lands a series of forearms to the face of Moxley, followed by a jumping knee strike. Moxley then hit a Death Rider to Guevara to secure a very, very close near fall. That's actually wrong because it was going to be a GTH, but he reversed it and got out of it into the Death Rider, and that's how he got the victory. 1, 2, 3. In about 13 and a half minutes, Jon Moxley moves on to the finals and goes to AEW Grand Slam, and his opponent would either be Chris Jericho or Bryan Danielson. It was a great match. I loved everything about it. Jon Moxley, definitely deserving of going to Grand Slam for the championship. I loved it all. Jon Moxley could be a possible 3-time AEW World Champion by the end of this thing. So we'll see where that goes. You'll definitely see where that goes, and I loved every single second of it. Up next, we had an amazing promo from MJF. MJF, he made his entrance out there, right? And MJF tells Albany to keep their fat mouths shut. MJF says that he hasn't slept since him and Moxley came face to face last week. MJF says that it pisses him off knowing that Moxley isn't scared. MJF said that he isn't playing a character, but Moxley is. He says that Moxley was raised by uneducated and poor human beings of parents. And MJF then said that Moxley got bullied and beat down as a child. He said that Moxley is still a scared little boy. And he also said that Moxley, he says, well, Moxley got sober. He said that the brain is a dangerous disease, just like Moxley's was. He said that that he's the demon that Moxley is going to be dealing with sooner rather than later. And he said that I'm going to have to introduce you to a group ran by my best friend, Stokely Hathaway. Stokely says that he called them, and here's the thing. He says like this guy is a great friend of mine. Let me introduce you to Stokely Hathaway and the firm. We now have a name for Stokely Hathaway's group, and it is known as the firm. I like that. I like the name. I like the makeup of the group, and I like the way that MJF introduced them. So we have that going for them now. Stokely said that he saved MJF from quitting AEW. Stokely says that once MJF doesn't need him, they will go their separate ways. Stokely says that he's a friend of MJF. He says that blackmail turns on him, and Stokely then says that he appreciates the W's when he can get them. Morrissey, Stokely says the Gun Club. he appreciates W. Morrissey. Stokely Hathaway says that the Gun Club no longer want to be in the shadows of their broken ass daddy. And then Stokely says that Ethan Page wants to be the All Atlantic champion. The fact that I liked about all of this is that, Stokely Hathaway, he now has a purpose for this group. He has a direction for this group. This group has goals within them. And I like the way that it was introduced in saying that these guys are only going to be a stable when it's absolutely necessary. And it's a stable by retainer. I think that's what they were calling it. These guys are only going to be linked to each other when they absolutely have to be. And that is absolutely great. The fact that they can still be split away but still be associated with each other when the timing is right to do so, that makes all the sense in the world, and I absolutely love that. Because you look at this group does not really fit together all that well, but when they are a group, they're going to be a unit. So I like that. I like the fact that they're going to be a thing when they absolutely just have to be, and they don't need to be together all the time. I like that. So it makes sense. MJF, Stokely being the two spearheads of this entire thing. I love that. I love that. And the fact that Stokely Hathaway was the manager of MJF all the way back in the Indies, that makes all the sense in the world to the reason why they are linked together. I like that. I really do. So that makes great amount of sense. And I love the way that they introduced all of this. This was great. We then had the second match. It was an open challenge for Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy versus question mark, and the question mark actually ended up being Jay Lethal. This was just pretty cool. This was just a good match. I love the way that they were kind of, just making all of this happen. And, Jungle Boy, he got the win here with a snare trap for the submission win. But we'll go over everything that led up to that. But, Jungle Boy getting the win here, I'm perfectly fine with that. I really do think that. And listen, Jay Lethal's going to be fine. I know a lot of people weren't really happy when Jay Lethal lost to Jungle Boy, but it's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. So, Lethal, he hit a lethal combination on Jungle Boy, followed by a tope suicida. Lethal then hits an elbow from the top rope onto Jungle Boy for a very close near fall. Jungle Boy then locks in the snare trap for the win. So, good stuff there. Jungle Boy, he got the win in about 10.5 minutes. It was just a good match. He just needed a win. Jungle Boy needed a win. Jay Lethal is obviously a great person in order to get that done for him. I like it. After everything that Jungle Boy went through from All Out 10 days ago, Jungle Boy needed a win, and this is a perfect way to do that. So I was fine with all of that right there. We had a video package showing Hook training with Action Bronson. Action Bronson and Hook are going to be taking on 2.0 at AEW Rampage Grand Slam next week. So that's going to be cool. That's going to be fun. Especially for New York and everything like that. That's just going to be a really cool thing to see. With Action Bronson being in action, no pun intended, and Hook being there. It makes all the sense in the world to do it. And that makes all the sense in the world to do it at Rampage too. That's not really a Dynamite match. You put that on Rampage just as a little sweetener. That makes that's a good place for it. And it's just gonna be a fun match. They're gonna win. Action Bronson and Hook are gonna win that thing. So let's just get that out of the way. But the fact that we're actually going to get that at Grand Slam for the Rampage side of things, that makes a great amount of sense, and I love that. So we're good there. We then had Powerhouse Hobbs versus Matt DiMartino. This was just a squash. I mean, let's just be real here. In about 30 seconds, the match started off with Powerhouse Hobbs backing Matt into the corner. Hobbs then hit a spine buster on Matt to secure the quick pinfall victory. That's it. It was like 30 seconds, so I mean, it really wasn't anything too special. After the match, however, is where things got really started, as Hobbs says that Ricky was tough at All Out, but it took him only 4 minutes to beat him. Ricky then appears in the crowd. He then lands a series of punches onto Hobbs. He walked through the crowd to get to Hobbs, and they were brawling inside the ring. Starks then hit Hobbs with a microphone, causing Hobbs to retreat up the ramp. We're getting this match again. And yes, Hobbs beat Starks in about 4 minutes at AEW Grand Slam. Not Grand Slam, at AEW All Out. And I called that, by the way. I called Starks losing that match. I called Powerhouse winning that match, and not a lot of people did. Starks is going to get his win back against Powerhouse, and it'll be a great moment when it does happen. I don't know if it's happening at Grand Slam. I don't think so. I didn't hear anything about that. We'll go over the Grand Slam card at the end of the show, or at least what's announced for it. But yeah, as of right now, no, the match is not happening at Grand Slam. But either way, we're going to get that match again whenever it does happen, and it is going to be a good one, and Starks is going to win that one. Starks is going to win that one. He's going to get his win back. Now, I don't know if we're going to do a 3-part series of all of this. I don't know if with Starks winning this next match, which he definitely should. Now we're going to get a third one to just, settle it once and for all. But either way, this is a good segment, and it sets up the match for the future, where Starks should definitely get the win over there. Now, Hobbs will be fine after the loss. Trust me, he's going to be fine. I love Starks. I love Powerhouse anyway. So I love both of them. They're great. They're just great at what they do, and they're going to get another great match out of them. But Ricky Starks, Powerhouse Hobbs, when it does happen, it's going to be great, and I can't wait to see where that goes down. So it's going to be good there. We then had the AEW Tag Team titles on the line in a random match, but it was pretty damn good. I mean, it was only about an 8-minute match, but the match wasn't really the story here. It's what happened afterwards with the Acclaimed and everything like that. So we came back from commercial break as we see Swerve lock in a gory special on Phoenix. Penta then hit the Made in Japan to Swerve. Penta then goes for a pinfall, but Lee throws Phoenix into both men to break up the pinfall. Penta then hit a Canadian Destroyer on Keith Lee, which pumped me. Holy fuck. Like, I seriously did not expect that whatsoever. I did not expect, Keith Lee and Penta to do a Canadian fucking Destroyer. So that popped me big. So that was great. As Phoenix, he hit a Spanish Fly onto Swerve from the top rope. Keith Lee then hit a Big Bang Catastrophe onto Penta to secure not even a very close near fall, the actual pinfall victory, as they retain those tag team titles in about 8 minutes. Good stuff right there. And after that match, the Acclaim came out and they stuck their claim for the AEW tag team titles. They say, "Cut my music." Max Caster said, "Listen, Swerve, if you ever interrupt my rap one more time, I am going to kick your ass at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. We are coming for those AEW tag team titles, whether you like it or not. And even if we are the uncrowned AEW World Tag Team Champions at the moment. We are going to go to Grand Slam in New York and become the real AEW Tag Team Champions. Because everybody loves the Acclaimed. And then they did the whole scissor me daddy ass, and they do the scissor thing and all that stuff, and you're good to go. This is going to be great. And the thing is, I want Toni to listen to this here, because I know Toni listens. I know Tony Khan listens to the show. Toni, please, for the love of God, I am going to be at AEW Grand Slam. For the love of God, can we please get the Acclaimed those tag team titles? The Acclaimed are ready, like, in year 2 to be AEW tag team champions, but they are super over right now. We're probably going to have around 15,000 people at AEW Dynamite's Grand Slam event in New York in about a week or so. Let's make it happen. Let's get those guys those tag team titles. The tag team titles have been waiting for the Acclaimed for months. Get them those tag team titles. Become the new tag team champions at Grand Slam. They're ready. And it's nothing against Keith Lee and Swerve. I love those guys to death. And I think those guys, they really held it down for the tag team division for the time being. But it's time. It is time for a change, and the Acclaimed are going to be your new AEW tag team champions. They should be. Because they've been busting their ass for the last 3 years to get to tag team title glory, and that is exactly what they should get next week. Orange Cassidy hit an orange punch on Pac, and Cassidy says that he is not going to be a double champion for much longer. He wants that All Atlantic Championship. I like that. I like Pac. I like I like Orange. You give that match to me. I like that. And I think we are. I think we are going to get that at AEW Grand Slam. I think we're getting that on we're getting that on the main show. AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. The Dynamite version. We're going to get Pac and Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic titles. That's great. I thought that was on the Rampage, but that's on the main show, so that's cool. We then had the match that I didn't really like all that much. It was Britt Baker and Serena Deeb taking on Athena and the AEW Interim Women's Champion, Toni Storm. The match is good. Hold on, guys, 1 second. All right, so we're good now. The match is fine. The match is perfectly fine. It was only really an 8.5 minute match. But the thing is, I didn't like the conclusion of it. I didn't like it at all, because you're pinning the AEW Women's Champion, or at least the Interim Women's Champion. But still, you're pinning a champion in the company. We came back from commercial as we saw Athena hit an enziguri onto Britt. Toni then hit a tornado DDT onto Britt from the outside. And then Britt super kicked Athena and Storm. Britt then sends Athena into the steel steps. Serena then sends Toni face first into a steel chair that was being held by Britt Baker. And Serena Deeb pinned Toni Storm to win the match. Now, I don't like that. I don't like that at all, because first of all, you're having your champion lose. Whether they're interim or not, you're having a champion lose. And honestly, what did Britt Baker have? Why did she have to win this? Now, yes, this entire thing was to build towards what happened after the match, which was Britt Baker, she super kicked Athena, and then she was and then she hit a curve stomp on her. Hayter then hits Toni Storm on the back with a steel chair, the steel chair that Britt introduced into the match, and she was about to hit Britt too, but I understand that this entire match was to build towards the story of Britt and Jamie Hayter, but if you were doing that, and if you had to have Britt win the match, or at least Britt's team to win the match, you could have had anybody else but Athena and Toni Storm to be in that match. You could have had anybody else. You could have had anybody else in that match other than those two, because those two need wins at this point. Toni Storm is a champion. She should not be losing on television. And Athena should not be losing. Athena should not be losing at all. So you either put two new women in that match, or you don't do the match at all and you just do some kind of backstage segment. This was not the right move. You should not have pinned the champion of all things too. That's what really irritated me the most out of all of this. Yeah, sure, you could have had different people in this match, and honestly, you really should have. But the fact that you pinned a champion, and AEW usually doesn't do that all that often. That's what kind of irritated me a little bit, and I don't know. I do know why it did, because, listen, I don't like it when champions lose on WWE television, even though it doesn't really happen all that much anymore with Triple H involved. But if I didn't like it in WWE, I'm not going to like it here in AEW. I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair and unbiased when it comes to that. Like, champions should not be losing. Champions should not be losing on television like that. And yeah, sure, I understand your whole reasonings of this is to further the Britt Baker Jamie Hayter story, but again, you could have just had different people. You could have had different people in the match, and that's just what it really all comes down to. So we then had our main event, and this is going to be a very short episode of OTV tonight as well. Guys, it's going to be like this for a little while, at least, for the review side of things, unless I can get guests on for these shows as well. It's going to be more like this, a faster paced type of show, because honestly, I can get through these things pretty quickly on my own, but you guys know me. I work better with people. I've been doing perfectly fine when it comes to me doing solos, right? And you guys get my opinions and everything like that, and you guys know exactly what you get here when you come to OTB. And this is before we even get to the main event. I love working with people. So honestly, I might even put this out there on the OTB TikTok page. For the time being, it's going to be solo unless I can get some people in here to help, not to help me out, but in order to, pop-ups are happening on my screen right now. This entire thing is going to be solo for the moment because, other people having their commitments and everything like that, and that's perfectly fine. But if I can get people to, be here with me during these reviews, that would be absolutely great, because not only I can get everybody else's opinions on the shows that are going on right now, but also it'll just be a better show for you guys. Plus, it'll be a longer type format content with you guys. And honestly, at the end of the day, I love conversation. So I'd be talking with somebody about the show, about what can happen over the course of the next few days, over the next few weeks and everything like that. I love working with people. So if anybody wants to be a part of this and they want to come on here with me to talk about AEW, to talk about SmackDown and Rampage, to talk about Monday Night Raw, you guys are more than welcome to do that. Like, all you have to do is just message me saying, hey, Phil, I don't know if you have anybody or not tonight, but I'd love to do this Monday Night Raw post show tonight. I'd love to do the Dynamite review tonight. I'd love to do whatever, right? I'm an open book. You guys know me. You guys love this show. So if you guys want to be a part of it, just let me know. Because I can do this solo. That's not a problem. And honestly, I had a podcast way prior to even TikTok that I was doing solo, and it wasn't bad by any means. But this is the most successful thing I've ever done. Period. With TikTok along with this. So I can do this solo, but I'd love it if people came on to the show with me and did the thing, and we shot the shit and like just talked about professional wrestling, because I love that. And we do that on Tuesdays anyway, and everybody comes in for Tuesdays talk, and it's a great thing. But if we even had guests for the reviews, I think that would be absolutely perfect as well, because we get outsider information, we get outsider views of what the show is, because I'm watching the show, but I'm also watching it to see, like, I'm doing a review on the show. So, I mean, I have to take at it and look at it in a, not critical sense, but I have to look at it in a different way than just somebody that just watches the show for fun, you know? So it's a cool thing. I love it. If you guys would be down to do guests, I don't care. I'd love to. But yeah, let's talk the shit and let's do the thing. So we're gonna get right into the main event now. Just wanted to put that out there, guys, because it's fun doing this alone too. But honestly, I love conversation. I'd like to do it more on a conversation type basis than just me, just talking and talking about the show. So I'd like to do it on a conversation base. If you guys want to be on, let me know. You guys can message me anytime. So let's do this thing. Main event, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho. This match was way better than their match at All Out. I think this match only took 5 minutes for me to even believe that this match was going to be better than their match at All Out. The match at All Out was good. And it was cool. It was good. I liked the match at AEW All Out between Bryan and Jericho. But this match actually had a story. And this match, honestly, it really just flowed a lot better than their match at All Out. I loved everything about it. This match was basically a 20-minute match, and I loved it all. We only had one commercial break in all of this too, which is great. I thought we were at least going to get two, but we actually had only just one, and that was great. So we came back from commercial as we see Jericho hit a Hurricane Rana on Bryan from the top rope. Interesting enough as it is, the Lionheart Chris Jericho hitting Hurricane Rana on Dynamite. Bryan then lands a series of elbows to the side of Jericho's head, doing the hammer, like the anvil elbows to Jericho. Jericho then lands a series of elbows to Bryan's head as well, so he was doing the anvil elbows as well. Bryan then hits a running knee, the Busaiku knee, to the face of Jericho, and then he gets to the outside with a big back drop. The doctors then check on Bryan's ankle, as it looked like he rolled his ankle when he was landing on the outside of the ring. Jericho then slams Bryan's ankle on the outside. He then locks in a figure four around the ring post. And then Jericho locks in Bryan into the walls of Jericho. Jericho then turns it into a single leg Boston Crab, of course, on the injured leg and ankle. Then Bryan locks in the label lock, and Jericho, he held in there for a long time, but he does eventually tap out, and Bryan Danielson wins with the submission of the label lock in about 20 minutes. A great match. Absolutely loved it. This match was way better than their match at All Out. And at the end of it all, we had Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, Blackpool Combat Club versus Blackpool Combat Club, staring face to face at each other. And that is the collision course as we are heading into All Out. Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley. I was going to say Chris Jericho again. Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship in the main event of AEW Grand Slam. It is going to be great. I'm going to be there. It's going to be a great match. And to me, if you guys want my honest and humble opinion, Bryan Danielson needs to win this match. I love Mox. I do. Moxley is great. Moxley could be a first ever 3-time AEW World Champion if he wins this match next week. But would you rather have the first ever 3-time AEW World Champion in Jon Moxley, or would you have Bryan Danielson win the championship for the first time ever in his career? I would go with Bryan, mainly because of the matches that we can see, of the feuds that we can see, and honestly, the work rate that this guy can go with as champion. I love it. And plus, honestly, at the end of it all, Bryan Danielson is the only person out of the entire Blackpool Combat Club that has not won a championship just yet. Moxley was just the AEW World Champion before everything kind of went to shit. Wheeler Yuta was the Ring of Honor Pure Champion before he lost to Daniel Garcia. And the only champion right now that I'm thinking of in the Blackpool Combat Club is Claudio Castagnoli with the Ring of Honor World Championship. So everything that comes down to it, Moxley as AEW champion, it's a safe choice, and honestly, it's a great choice. But if you want the story, and if you want Bryan Danielson to honestly carry the workload of AEW for the future, you put that championship on him, and you do it proud. You do it proudly. Bryan Danielson winning the AEW championship is the best thing for AEW right now, and it makes all the sense in the world to do it right now, especially with everything going on. So yeah, I am going with Bryan Danielson to win the AEW World Championship at AEW Grand Slam. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me who you guys think should win in the comments below in the live chat, or, after everything is all published and everything on YouTube and all that stuff, let me know who you guys think the winner should be at AEW Grand Slam, Jon Moxley or Bryan Danielson. Now, that's the ending of the actual review portion of the show. I appreciate you guys for coming on in. If you guys only wanted to be here for the review side, you guys can go to bed. Have a great rest of the night. I'm actually going to get off after this in just a little bit once we go over Grand Slam. And, just lay down and honestly just take the rest of the night off, because honestly, I'm tired of shit and I need some rest. So let's get over to AEW Grand Slam, and we will continue to we'll go over the card, as we have 4 matches confirmed for the live Dynamite portion of the show, and 1 match is confirmed for the Rampage side of things. So we got that, and we are going to go over everything right now. So let me get to it real quick. All right, so yeah, okay, we're here. Cool. So we have Bryan Danielson and Jon Moxley for the AEW World Championship. And that was already confirmed. We have the Acclaim versus Swerve in Our Glory for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. That was already confirmed, I believe, like at least a week ago. So that was pretty good. We have Pac and Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship. That should be really good, honestly. And I love both of them. So whoever wins that, that's going to be great. And then we have a Fatal 4-Way, and this is newly announced, a Fatal 4-Way for the Interim AEW Women's World Championship, as Toni Storm is going to be defending against Serena Deeb, Athena, and Dr. Britt Baker, D.M.D. So whoever wins that is going to be the next AEW Interim Women's World Champion. I honestly don't know who wins that. That's going to be very interesting. If Toni Storm somehow gets out of there alive with the championship, that's going to be very interesting to see. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting development there. A Fatal 4-Way for the Women's World Championship at Dynamite Grand Slam. And the only match announced for the Rampage side of things is Action Bronson and Hook versus the Jericho Appreciation Society's Matt Menard and Angelo Parker in a tag match. So that is going to be, that's just going to be something to look forward to there as well. So, guys, that's it for the AEW Dynamite post-show for tonight's episode of Outside the Brand. If you guys liked what you heard tonight, make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to turn on the bell for all notifications. Hit that subscribe button down below as well. Go to the links. All of them are down in the description for our social medias, like our TikToks, our Twitters, our Twitches, and all that stuff, so you guys can go check all those out. Go to bonfire.com, the exclusive home of OTB, and its merchandise. And yeah, guys, we're going to get out of here. Have a good rest of the night. Stay tuned for Friday's episode of Friday Night SmackDown and AEW Rampage. We'll be right here, back here on OTV, episode 248, not 148, episode 248 for the SmackDown and Rampage post-show review. I'll talk to you guys soon, guys. Have a good rest of the night. Stay safe. God bless, and peace.